place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
Another Dom walks in the building. And there's all these Doms in Vegas now. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on with the Doms? I remember when it was just me being Dom. So now, and that Dom Super Slice, I've known him since I was 17.
He just texted me like 2 minutes ago.
Right?
Yeah. So I was from Brooklyn. He was from Long Island and then Brooklyn. And it's funny, people call him Dom Super Sliced. Yeah. I hate calling him that because
I asked him, on the podcast, should I call you Dom?
his Facebook name back then was Dom Brandon. Okay. So everybody, and his last name is Mutascio, I believe.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know how to say his last name.
I'm Italian and I can't say it.
You know how to say it?
No.
He's usually good at saying names.
So everybody would call him Dom Brandon, and then he got popular in bodybuilding and coaching, and all of a sudden he's Dom Super Sliced.
Well, I don't know. So should we announce you as IFBB pro bodybuilder?
What you are, though?
Trainer, MMA fighter.
No, so I like to say this.
You know what it is? Las Vegas resident.
Yes, new once
Where you're now Dom Las Vegas.
That's pretty shitty.
That could come off many different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
that could come off a lot of different ways.
Switch your Instagram to Dom Las Vegas.
Dom Las Vegas. Next thing I'm promoting at the clubs.
That's a great name.
Dom Las Vegas.
He's going to be handing out those little business cards on the street. There you go.
Be at the clubs, but
all the stuff you've been through in life to become Dom Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on adding on more hats. Well, there's more to be added on, but yes, again, a Las Vegas resident.
IFBB pro bodybuilder.
I like to say former, but yes.
Yeah. We all say former. Coach.
Yes.
Like online and coach. Like
yeah, it's all. No, it's all online. Okay. Everything's online.
Which you transitioned to. What about the gun business?
So the gun business is a family business.
Okay.
Cardone Arms USA. Yeah, I know Matt loves guns just as much as I do. My family does.
We're gonna take Jay shooting.
MMA.
I don't like to call I've competed in jiu-jitsu.
Well, your ear's a little banged up, so
yeah.
I mean, you definitely
I don't know.
a little bit.
Did you do it just long enough to get your ear banged up?
Listen, I think I needed some more.
Did you notice your ears like cauliflower?
Yeah.
I saw that right away. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to fuck with this guy.
Listen,
that's why he did it.
Just for the ears, since I'm not big anymore. But no, I had 3 fight camps. I never got to any of the fights because I got horribly sick every time. It's just my immune system from the history of mercury poisoning. But I've competed in jiu-jitsu numerous times. Now I have this neck injury, so I don't think I'm going to be fighting again. I need to find something else to do.
You're a young guy, though, man.
32. Oh, no. Am I 33? 33. Yeah.
Jeez.
I won my first Olympia at 33,
Yeah, I'm 33, but I'm banged up. And I got this beard at this time.
And welcome back to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
you spoiled it. Yeah, you spoiled it. So how's it feel to be back?
It feels good. It feels good. I definitely needed to get away for a bit after officially retiring from bodybuilding, which my comeback never happened. But it feels good. I have a new business launching with one of my best friends out here, which we'll get into. A lot of my friends are out here. So I was in Boca, for those that don't know. It was a great experience, trained in an American top team gym. Loved the beach, loved the weather, but, other things brought me back here.
Is that where the girl is from, had the baby? Did she train down there?
That's pretty
the champ. The
fighter, UFC fighter?
Yeah.
Brazilian, Amanda Nunes. Yeah, she lives down there. Yeah.
She trained at the...
She used to. Yes. She got most of her championships there, and then she went to another gym.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, South Florida, you got damn near everybody there in terms of the MMA.
So that's why you went there, strictly for that? I thought we're the fight capital.
So I wasn't as well versed in gyms back then. I thought that was the Mecca, but they didn't take amateurs. They stopped taking amateurs. So I got there, and I remember calling, nobody would pick up. And then I knock on the door, yeah, you have to be a pro. And anyways, I started training with Thiago Alves there, and that's how I kind of got my way in. King Mo, who was Muhammad Lal, two-time NCAA champion. He was my wrestling coach. I trained there for years. But yeah, I went there to train MMA and to kind of just reset, leaving body.
Was Tiago Alves like the pit bull? They called him the pit bull?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah.
He looks like one. Yeah, and he fought like one. Yeah, he almost won the title against George St. Pierre. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I mean, he's basically taught me everything I know when it comes to fighting, but just a great guy.
Didn't you live though weren't you training with Flex down in the day down there?
No.
Oh, okay. You weren't one.
We were training here. When Flex was doing his comeback.
Yep.
You were training with
We
him
were
then,
doing
right?
it together. Yeah, he was going to go to the open class, and I was going to do the
That was
New
like
York Pro.
21, right?
Yeah, he moved here end of 2020. I dealt with my mercury poison stuff 2021. 2022, we really started training.
So bring us back so give us a little rundown of like your background a little bit. So you're an East Coast guy.
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, New York. Talk a little bit about your how you got into fitness and bodybuilding and
Kind of you. So it's funny. I played football my whole life. Went into high school. Freshman year, at the end of the year, they opened up the weight room for us. They didn't teach us anything. Went in there. I saw the leg machines. I just let it rip. I had no idea what I was doing. Couldn't walk for days after, to the point where I couldn't go to school. My mom was fucking pissed. Can you curse in this?
yeah, of course.
Okay. Perfect. Okay,
Come on, Dom, Las Vegas.
I'm from Boston. What
That's
do you think?
Brooklyn Dom. Yeah, that's Brooklyn Dom. So,
There's Las Vegas Dom and Brooklyn Dom.
listen.
Brooklyn Dom can come out now.
Okay, perfect. That's more me. So couldn't walk, but then I'm like, well, school year ended. Wanted to weight train for my sophomore year for football. My dad brought me to Gold's Gym. He went for like a day. He would later get into bodybuilding, but I started researching online how to get bigger, how to get stronger for football. Went on YouTube, and YouTube wasn't crazy big back then. And I remember seeing videos of you and Ronnie. And I didn't know what competitive bodybuilding was yet. I just saw you guys training in the gym. So as a 15-year-old kid, I'm like, these guys are just huge to walk around a gym. I thought it was great. I'm like, I'm going to be that. So I would go to the gym and try to imitate you and Ronnie. And then eventually I found AJ Sims on bodybuilding.com. He was 19. I told him, I just want abs. I don't want to do any of this competing stuff. And eventually I learned what competing was. Met Fakri Mubarak, who was in Queens, and competed for the first time when I was 16.
That's funny because AJ Sims moved here when he was 13 to train in the same gym as I was at.
Yep.
And we've had a bunch of people that actually trained under his watch.
Yeah.
So you turned pro pretty young.
21. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're only 32, 33, and you turned pro in 16 or 14?
14.
14. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
I won the heavyweight class at Nationals when I was down in Miami. I lost a close overall to, remember, Alexis Rolone. So I almost beat him in the over. I mean, he was just obviously
I don't
more
remember who
mature.
that was.
I don't.
He was really good. And he stopped competing. He worked with AJ for a while. I think went to the Olympia once. But anyways, yeah,
We were there in 14.
Really?
Yeah. I took, after 14, Phil and I drove across the state to do
Where was the
Jared's
location?
Miami.
Miami.
Oh, okay.
We drove across the state to go do Jared's store
okay, yeah.
in 14.
Okay, I was there though, so you remember.
Yeah.
So, like, you looked at bodybuilding and said you learned what it was, and obviously you had potential. I mean, turning pro at 21. I mean,
That's serious potential.
is that because you got around the knowledge? Like you mentioned some heavy hitter guys that were coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even from just that Gold Gym in Brooklyn, we had Antonio Champagner there, who was a big national, who would eventually go pro. My friend Bo Baisden. There were some big guys in the gym, and then obviously meeting Fakri and getting around, different pros. I was also a nerd too when it came to researching, learning from AJ, learning from the forums, videos. My parents were actually concerned for a bit because I would lock myself in my room. I would go to the gym and just sit in my room. And my mom tells my dad, he has like pictures of naked men on his wall, and he just sits in his room.
Yeah.
So my dad tells the story a lot. He comes in, checks me, and I tell him whatever I'm learning online. He goes back, he goes, he's good, he's okay. So I was very fucking mad. I was very big into researching and I always, and no matter what I ever did in my life, I always tried to find who was the best or who was coming up in that field to learn from, right? Because, listen, like me and Matt were talking before the podcast, the best thing to learn something is to make mistakes. But mentors and learning from people that have been there, done that can help, mitigate some of those mistakes from happening.
We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102! Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough? Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
We talk about that all the time. A wise man learns from the mistake of others. A fool keeps learning from the same mistakes over and over. So
right.
I've always paid attention to everyone else's mistakes, and I try not to do it.
That's right. Yeah.
And you must have seen like the likes of like the Kai Greens and Victor Martinez. All these people came through
De La
your gym at
Rosa.
one point. Yeah, De La Rosa was
And
there.
then Steve's gym's
Juan
there.
Morel and
Steve's gym is in Long Island.
Star.
Ron
Did
was
you
in Long
go
Island.
travel up there to train?
Only sometimes. So, well, I
far
didn't
from
have a
Brooklyn.
car. Yeah, I didn't have a car until I was like 17 or 18. But yeah, it was far. And plus, Kai lived like 20 minutes from me. So then we started going to the same gym together. Trained with him quite a bit back then, even as a teenager. Victor was around. I mean, all those guys were around.
Did you have girlfriends or?
Yeah, I pretty much. When I was young, I always had girlfriends because I liked stability back then.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you'd have you stay in on a Friday and Saturday night and train and eat your meals.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
What did they teach you? What was the best thing they taught you? Like, was it meal structure? Was it the training aspect? Like, what do you think is the most difficult thing about it now, being as knowledgeable as you are? Do you think it's the nutrition?
It's definitely the nutrition. Yeah, I mean, I was eating fish and cold chicken in the bathroom stall when I was in high school. I never missed a meal, ever. So it's figuring out the nutrition, figuring out what your body requires, but staying consistent with it, which most people are not going to do that.
Were your parents supportive?
Very.
Yeah.
At first, they didn't know what it was until they saw me first compete when I was 16. And then shortly after, my dad wanted to just put some muscle on. Then like a month after that, he was like, I want to compete. And he was like, we're going to make one. I was 16. He was like, here's the only thing. He goes, you're going to coach me. And you're going to be just like Fackery when you get older, along those lines. And I was like, okay. I think I was fairly knowledgeable. How he's alive, I don't know. But he looked amazing. I didn't really know how to peak, so he came in very flat. He won all his classes in his first show.
Your dad.
Yeah.
And that's badass. That's a cool story.
This was 14 months after he started training. He was a freak.
And what shows did you or he do in that area? Like, because Steve has every show, right?
Yeah, so I did the Metropolitans when I was 16. 18, I did the Eastern USA. 19 Teen Nationals, 21 Eastern USA, won that, and then went to the Nationals. My dad did Easterns, Team Universe.
So you got to meet me a bunch of times then?
I did, actually, yeah.
You were at
Yeah,
most- a lot
because
of
I was
those.
at the Bev show every year.
I went, as a teenager, I would go and see him guest pose. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the good old days, man. They used to have it at that
BMCC Theater.
theater down
Yeah.
in the city. And I'd stay. Yeah, I used to love that.
I was there the year Ronnie
Yeah,
jumped
you
in your
came
back.
in. Yeah, you came.
I flew up. I was working in the music industry, and I flew up for a meeting with Universal, and he was there. So I was like, "Fuck it!" So I just left the meeting and went
there.
him and
Who
Ronnie
was the
guest posed.
freakiest bodybuilder in your eyes? Because I always talk about the Lee Priest encounter when I was 19, he was 20. Dude, I just sat at Gold's Gym, and I'm not gonna lie, I know it sounds weird, but I sat and watched, you just watch what everyone, what that person does. And I think the same thing was like Dillette. I watched how Dillette sat at a table and signed pictures and how his arms, every time he picked up a pen and shit. But Lee was unreal, and I just sat there and I remember, I had my ex-wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. And I said, can you believe how big this guy is? He's only a year older than me. So do you remember who you saw that blew your mind?
So there was, the first one I ever saw was Anthony Neal in person. That was before I ever went to any shows, and it stuck in my head. I remember and that was when, you remember the lighting in the old Gold's gyms, the great lighting?
Yeah.
He was getting ready for some show. I walk in, the gym was empty except for him, and he's doing overhead dumbbell extensions. And I remember just looking, he was known for his arm. I remember looking at his arms, and I'm like, holy shit. And it was just imprinted in my head. I mean, he was lean, he was contest ready, he was fucking freaky, and I was like, man, that's what I want to do. And then obviously I got to meet a lot of the other guys, see you in person, and then seeing Kai Green, him, I trained around him, he would wear sweatpants and would make it look like leggings.
Bro, how about his hamstrings? I never saw a hamstring bow out like a bicep. Isn't it crazy? His legs when in his prime.
Ridiculous.
They're probably still like that.
They are. I would see him in some of the gyms down in Boca when I lived there, and he's still huge. I mean, not as big as he was back then, but he's just a different specimen, Yeah.
He would spend hours and hours in the gym too.
He would be there forever, and then he would do hours of cardio. Hours.
So you learned, obviously, you're like there was no schooling or whatever that taught you what you know.
So it was, I mean, I worked at Factory. I worked at George Farrell when I was 18. Then I met Oscar Arden. Oscar was
Kai Greens.
Yep.
They came to Vegas and did Rocky Style in 09 and trained here, yeah.
When I got ready for my first show, I watched that DVD every single day. Like
Didn't he have a basement gym in his house?
So that gym, he eventually sold that house, and we opened up a gym together in Queens, a private gym. There were personal things that went on, and it eventually went away, which I won't get into. But he was a very big mentor of mine, you know, very, very young. And it's funny, when I first met him, was the day after the Eastern USA. That was kind of like my breakout show as a teenager. Gaspari sponsored me at the show. So there was a lot of hype, you know, me being the young guy.
You were 16 at the time?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was hype when I was 16, but 18, it was
because, you know, you can't compete until you're 18 now. They
Now, yeah.
Stop it, yeah.
But I remember we're going to McDonald's with my brother, and Dominic, I turn around, it's Oscar. I'm like, first off, I was embarrassed as fuck. I'm like, he's going to see me here in McDonald's the day after my show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he encourages you to influence you when I get to know
say,
him.
wait a minute, but he was in there too.
Exactly. So I actually ordered a salad, which I think back when I got to know him and got close, I'm like, how fucking stupid was that? But
Why, you did it just because you were embarrassed?
yeah, I was like, he's going to see me the day after my show eating a burger with my little brother. I'm like, I was a kid, you know, and I didn't know, you know, I was still coming up.
Meanwhile, he probably got 4 burgers.
Exactly. That's my point. So, and he would have said, you have to eat, you have to eat, you have to envision yourself to grow, like all that stuff he would say. So I've had a lot of really, I mean, Chad Nichols, he was a very big mentor. And then later on, AJ. I mean, AJ was just there before I got into competing. He's a very, very good friend of mine. He's one of my biggest mentors when it comes to nutrition. And when he really...
He's self-taught too, you know.
Yep.
I mean, we talk about that, like the bro science, right? I mean, and, you know, Chris Aceto trained me from the age of 18, and I met him at 18 and a half, and he would have this piece of paper and he'd write the stuff down. And Chris always said, like, I don't care what you did last year. You know, like Milos comes here on our podcast and he has journal after journal, like I did this, like reference. And I journaled things, which is crazy because I just did it as kind of like a structure pattern, just because I wanted to be more precise. And it made me feel better that I actually journaled, like I did this, so many sets today, whatever. But it's so crazy that, you know, Chris went to school for exercise science. He was like graduated #1 in his class. But the truth is like, you have to throw everything out the window. He used to say to me, all right, whatever textbook says, you have to do the opposite because your metabolism is different. Obviously, you put anabolic stuff in, you know, totally different, right? So when they say this is what you're supposed to eat, and I want to get into that a little bit because, you know, people used to look at stuff. And I remember when I was training for 01 Olympia, which was one of my best looks. And I remember like after workout, I'd drink a Coca-Cola and I'd walk out of the gym. People like, aren't you competing the Olympia in like 4 weeks? And I'm like, yeah, you know, and it was just like, Chris was just like, listen, I need you to reach this many carbohydrates and this much protein. And obviously he kept the fats to a minimum. I don't know how you are with that, which that's changed a lot too. Because obviously I worked with Hani and like he added more fats and whatever. I just was super low fat in my whole career. So like, is it just going through trial and error with every person? And do you believe a coach with a person has to go through processes show after show before you can master what that person is? Because I hear so many things now, like Nick Walker just competed and he's like, oh, this is my first prep with the new coach. But he actually, did he do a show with him last? He didn't do a show. No, this is his first, right? So, you know, it's a success. But the truth is like not everyone's going to land perfect.
Right.
And that's the problem.
It's true.
But so talk a little bit about like the processes and how you actually, is it through trial and error with person to person? Because not everyone's going to eat the same, train the same.
All right, take 2. Hey guys, if you have not heard, I've launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. And if you would like to schedule on consult or get more information, make sure you guys go over, check it out, and let us see how we can help with your health needs.
Click the link below.
Shit.
Say click the link below.
Okay. Click the link below.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, yeah, sure, I have my philosophies and the way I want to try to program somebody's metabolism to do what I want it to do. But like, let's say Bob comes to me 16 weeks out and look at what Bob's doing and look what he has and look what he looks like. And sometimes I'll tell him, listen, like, Bob, like, I need more time with you. Like, there's some people that say, okay, we could do this in 16 weeks, but I need to be ultimately confident that I'm going to have you at your best. And to be honest, not to make myself come off cocky or anyway, once I'm able to learn somebody's body, usually the first time they nail it. Most of the, like because of AJ and everything I've learned, bringing guys in peeled conditioning has become like my forte and peaking them. But learning them in the off season is where I set up for the pre-contest. Because if I have 16 weeks with you, I mean, sure, that's going to be trial and error, or we can do an off season together. Then I can set you up for prep the way I want you to be set up, make sure you're healthy, blood work, all that. And then the prep is just, it's just at the snap of your fingers. I make changes, you're changing, and everything's just going. So for me, usually I like to have an off season with people. Because most people have to improve in some way anyway, and I don't like to rush people to the stage. And I tell everybody, for the most part, I won't put you on stage unless I'm sure you're going to be at your absolute best. Because as you know, there's time, money, energy, and health that goes into these preps. And if we can use that time getting better, building a relationship, I learn your body, then why wouldn't we? So, and then once we're at that point, like I said, I have certain philosophies, but not everybody's the same. So it all is a matter of just learning that person's body and then doing it.
Yeah, because people come up to me all the time at these events and be like, I'm eating this many calories.
Yeah.
Like, what should I do? And I'm like, how do I answer this?
You really can.
You can't, because I don't know your metabolism. Like, I don't know, you're wearing a shirt, like your body composition. I mean, you might be holding a ton of fat in the lower back, but lean in the, so how do you pinpoint someone's physique if like they're heavy around the midsection, but they're lean in the legs like and lean in the upper torso? Yeah.
So that's me. So
my arms and legs, you think I'm 5% body fat?
A male's supposed to hold his fat like in the core, right? Isn't lower back and flanks and whatever, right?
It also depends too. I mean, it also depends on like your background. Like for me, I always held it in my chest, my lower abs, my love handles, but my legs were always conditioned.
Same with me.
You know, so it really depends on the person also too. What's going on hormonally? Like, are they super high in estrogen to the point where those are becoming fat deposits, simply saying? What does their diet look like? Do they have any gut issues? Like, I take everything into account. And simply, I'm trying not to get too scientific here, because I try not to overcomplicate things either.
It seems like the new age, look at blood work and like you talk about estrogen. Well, that didn't exist, bro, in my early days at all. Like, listen, you would come in as a teenager, somebody say, hey, we got to do your blood work and monitor like when your glucose is like, to me, that's just mind-boggling.
I see the look in your eyes. It sounds nuts, and I agree. Some people do take it to a level that it doesn't have to be, because now you have this person who's doing this sometimes unnecessary blood work or testing their blood sugar, whatever. That causes stress on them. They're wondering what's going on. It's another thing they have to worry about. And what happens when somebody stresses, right? But there are still the core fundamentals and, of course, things when it comes to health. Like, again, Bob could come to me. He could feel good. He could look great. But how do we know his kidneys aren't failing? That's happened before. Remember this guy from Puerto Rico came to me 2008. I went full-time 2018, but I was coaching since 16 years old. Comes to me, listen, I feel really good. We run his blood work because EGFR was 19. His creatinine was like 8. And I don't know, like Dante was like, I don't know if you should help this guy. Dante Trudell's another big mentor of mine when it comes to the health side of things. Dr. Thomas O'Connor was a help. We got his kidneys back to normal. I don't proclaim to be a doctor or anything, but you never know what's going on until you open up the hood, right? Either it be from a health standpoint, because your body's not going to prioritize putting on muscle or getting shredded for a show if it's catastrophically, declining on the inside, right? But I also don't like to overcomplicate things either, because my belief is that if you understand something, you could explain it simply. And then talking to the client, they don't need all those scientific words and overcomplicated methods. It just becomes more of a problem. Most people aren't going to adhere to it. So I try to simplify, but it's my job to worry about what's going on underneath the hood, figure out that data, and the athlete to execute it.
How many clients can you possibly take on?
At the most, I've had 158. But with the way I structure my check-ins throughout the week, everybody has their day. That's like no problem. I've been doing it full time for a long time, and I could kind of do it with my eyes closed.
How do you like? But you never have a break then, because check-ins must be on different days, right?
So I like to spread them out throughout the week. So
I know, but how do you go on vacation and like I want to shut off?
Okay, so I mean that would maybe be like once a year, but even then, if you're on prep and I leave, I'm going to answer. But also too, how nice is it if I could go on vacation and just pull up my laptop and work for a few hours? I don't mind it. You know, it's a blessing to be able to work from my laptop. I love work. I love to work. I need to be busy. When I'm not busy, it's a problem. So, but yeah, like Christmas time, like, hey guys, I'm going to take the week to be with my family. These are the check-in days next week, unless you're in prep. But I truly do enjoy working.
You know, I wish more coaches took that approach that you do, meaning it seems like a lot of coaches now just want to get their people on stage. Like they'll go do an athlete will go do a show and they'll say, hey, you know, you got to improve X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then 3 weeks later, they're doing another show. It's like, why?
There's no point.
Why are you doing this? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your health. You already know you have to make these improvements. Don't get back on stage until you make said improvements. But a lot of coaches don't do that. They're like, no, keep competing. You know why
they do that?
Making money
exactly. They want to keep taking their money, and it's wrong at the end of the day. Yeah. There's a moral part of it, but there's a foundation part of any relationship, right? Honesty, transparency, loyalty, trust, and honesty is a very big one. Of course, right? I mean, if you work with me, I expect you to always be honest with me. I always have to be honest, even if you don't like it. Even my close friends that I consider brothers, dude, tell me what's on your mind. You know, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
That's your Brooklyn mentality, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You can't read minds.
Yeah. No, I wish I could sometimes. Well, sometimes you can with coaching, but you always have to be honest. And you're doing that person a disservice if you're dishonest with them, you know.
Who has a good eye in bodybuilding?
A good eye in terms of...
Like, who can look at someone and... Like, have you ever seen any of these, like, some of your mentors look at someone and you don't see what they... see, and they're like, that guy can be a great bodybuilder?
I mean, one that's DeCrisicito, he's usually always dead on, always. And Fackery back in the day was the same. I remember posing for him the first time. I just turned 16, and I had legs, but he looks at me, he goes, you're going to be a pro, and you're going to be a very good pro. I remember going home. My mom's driving me home. She has no idea who's this Fackery guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, him from way back then, and definitely Chris. And that's an experience thing too. Like, who's been coaching longer than Chris? How many
coaching since the 80s?
How many bodies has he seen? And he also too, he has a gift. Not every people could coach for 20, 30 years and still not.
I know, but Bob taught him that.
Not Bob Bond.
Bob.
I know who you're going to say from
Gruskin.
Yes, yeah.
Like he said, like he looked at. Like John De La Rosa when he was nothing, and you know, Chris tells this story, and he said, you know, that kid's going to be, and he said he was so skinny, but he's like, dude, that guy's going to be like a top, like bodybuilder guy. Yeah. He told Palumbo to quit.
Did he really?
Yeah. He said you need to focus on school. You know.
He's an honest guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think did he tell us that in the thing?
I don't know.
I think he told us that.
He's an honest guy.
Yeah.
He's a dream
but
crusher.
I mean, but also too.
It's hard to be honest though, Dom.
Listen, no.
People
Yes,
get butthurt.
No, so yes and no. My thing is, it's easier to tell the truth than cover up a lie, right? Even when you may hurt their feelings, but also too, if I see somebody come to me, and I'm like, I don't know. But let's see what happens. You never know what somebody's genetics look like until they give 100%. Now, how many people give 100%? We know that's
very
not
few,
many.
Yeah.
So everybody deserves a chance, right? But after you see repeated time and consistency of them, without a doubt, training hard, eating, doing everything they should do, and nothing really happens, it gets to a point where it's like, you know, there have been guys that I told, like, hey, listen, like, this is costing you a lot of money. You may have they have a family, whatever. There's possible health risk here. You know, maybe you should explore doing something else. And it's not easy to say that because it hurts people. But when I have done this, they've been more thankful than anything. These guys go on to do, I mean, way different things. They're healthy, and a lot of them still work with me because they want to transition into not being a hardcore bodybuilder anymore. So it's like, as long as you're honest, you can really do no wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's another. We need to get Chad Nichols on.
Of course, I'd love to have him.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about your. You know, you're very passionate about what you do, and it sounds like you actually work with a lot of bodybuilders. Like, if I asked that, if 156, you said that was the number, like where a lot of those competitive bodybuilders, a lot of people are getting away from working with competitive bodybuilding people.
So
it's male, female too, right?
So I'm just male.
Oh,
I just want to
okay.
deal with one
You like
female,
Chris
and
Aceto,
that's
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my wife. You know, which by the way, she's amazing. She amazing. Which we could get into later on.
Look at this. He's saying that because if he doesn't, when he gets
Yeah,
home, when she hears this,
no, she knows I'm the man of the house. I wear that hat. No, she knows. But I just want to deal with my wife. But like, let's say it's somebody who's been working with me for a while. It's their girlfriend or wife, and hey, can you help out my wife? But no competitors. Like I'll help them with lifestyle, do that. But it's just men. But I have a good mix now of competitors and lifestyle.
Who's your highlight reel people? I ran into someone that told me they trained with you and they were really good somewhere. I'm trying to think who it was though. Who are some of your highlights?
I had Patrick Moore when he made his comeback a few years ago, which that was a great comeback for him. Ross
he looked
Flanagan.
amazing this weekend, to be
He
honest.
did. No,
Ross told me.
Yes,
Ross
yes.
told me. Yes.
Which Patrick did look. I mean,
Unbelievable.
I was messaging him the other day. I'm like, dude, I told you, like, as long as you come in condition, you're a problem. But anyways, Ross Flanagan, he turned pro with me back in
Guest
2020.
post at my Wyoming show for me.
Working
actually.
together since
So, yeah.
2018. He's on a bit of a hiatus right now. Patrick Moore worked with Joseph Mackey. My first classic guy who went pro with me back in 2018 went to the Olympia. I mean, I've worked with God knows how many people. I don't really have a highlight. I've worked with so many people, and honestly, Jay, I don't like to put anybody above one another. Like the old Dom would say, yeah, like let's chase Olympias and let's do this. If you're coming to me and paying me money and giving me your full effort, you're getting the 100.
It's neutral with everyone.
Exactly. Just give me your all. Be honest with me. And like I said, the old Dom, a bit more egotistical, was different. But then I realized like a lot of these coaches are doing things wrong, and how would I want to be treated? Because a lot of these guys, they don't get the fair chance from these coaches because they're not a big name, and that's disgusting to me. A lot of these people spend most of their money to bodybuild, and they're coming to me for guidance. So for me, everybody's on the same level as long as they're honest with me and they give me their full 100% attention. I think I've turned close to 40 people pro at this point, all men, mainly bodybuilding. There was 3 Olympians, and I couldn't even tell you how many other wins. I don't really count.
Is this your passion because you weren't able to fulfill the dream of being a top professional bodybuilder? How does that affect you? Talk a little bit about that.
About not becoming a top bodybuilder? Now,
I mean, you turned professional. You turned pro early. Like you had a promising. Talk about your mindset, like how you had to adapt with setbacks.
Because you're still
else.
young.
yeah, I'm 33. Yeah, I mean,
I just asked you if you're going to come back and bodybuild. You said, "You crazy?"
never, because it'll interfere with my coaching and everything else I have going. And I like being smaller. And anyways, it doesn't affect me anymore because
Did it though?
it did. Yeah, it did. It was a hard pill to grasp because it wasn't on my terms. Because just to go back just a little bit, the first and only pro show I did was a New York Pro 2016. My mom was dealing with cancer for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. She went into a coma 7 weeks out, died around 2.5 weeks out. And dude, I looked like this on stage. Chris wouldn't let me weigh myself. I don't know why, whatever. But the day after the show, I was like 205. I was like, I haven't been 200 pounds since I was like 18. And I think it was because the show was done, I went off the rails for a few years, to be honest. I completely lost my way, got involved in the motorcycle club world, which I don't regret. Great time, which I don't want to go too deep into that. Stopped bodybuilding. Would always say I was coming back. I was coaching side time. Then I went back to doing the concrete.
Where were you living?
Brooklyn.
Oh shit, you did concrete. You know that's my family business.
I know.
Yeah.
I started at 6
Holy
years old.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
I just found out right
Yeah,
now.
I started at 6 years old.
Wow, I did. We did foundations though, so we did set up the forms and we
Okay.
poured. You know, my brother's business. They still run that business.
It's still around.
Yeah, I started at 11.
Yeah, my dad's, so is decorative concrete. He started as a general contractor, moved over to decorative concrete back in, I think it was the year 2000, and he was actually one of the top contractors in the world. He traveled to, not Turkey, I forgot where it was, Lebanon, did jobs in like Lebanon. So he was very well known for a while. So yeah, he was bringing us on job sites at 6 years old. Then, you know, in our household, if you wanted something, you had to earn money. So what did you do? You went to work with your dad on the weekend. Summers, you go work with your
Every day,
dad.
school vacation, yeah,
Yep.
the whole thing.
Yeah, so, you know, I worked concrete very young. up until like, what was it, 17, 18, and then even after the New York Pro, I still had my sponsors, coaching on the side, and I started doing concrete again until that went on for a few years. Had back surgery 2018. 2019, Project AD flew me out to Venice. I met Tom Prince, who was one of my biggest supporters.
Tom was good, dude. Yeah.
Oh, man. And it was my first time meeting him because we would go back and he would send me novels for years. And I would I remember being that annoying.
He was an English major, you know.
Was he?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Masters
He was like, the way he wrote these things was like AI before AI. I have it all on my Facebook.
Real.
And I would annoy him. We finally met. And remember, he sat down with me at the Firehouse Grill. He's like, listen, he's like, I see what's going on Facebook. He goes, I told you a long time ago, you have to stay focused. You go, you could go really far with this, Dom. He goes, just do the right thing, in basic words that he said. And a few months after, January 2020, I moved to Vegas to make my comeback, which never happened.
Where were you training at that point?
So when I moved here, nobody was here except you and Dennis. I moved here to kind of be alone and make my comeback. So I was going to LVAC. During COVID, Lift Factory, none of the other gyms were here. So I was bouncing around. I loved all the LVACs. I would travel all around. Yeah, it was great. You went to the one on, what was the one with the great leg room?
Sahara, or it's like Maryland and Carone, same one.
Sahara, yep. So I'll travel all around. And I don't think Dragon's Lair didn't come till the next
21.
year. But 2020 was when my health issues started. I was like losing weight. Wouldn't get pumps in the gym. I mean, horrible depression, skin issues, you name it, I had it. Went to gut doctors, GI doctors here, blood work. One of the GI doctors, listen, I think you should see a psychiatrist. I think it's in your head. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I was literally losing my mind. Like, it became to the point where I was getting suicidal ideation.
Who was coaching you at that point?
Nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody. Kind of like spinning the wheels, trying to find answers. And Flex hooked me up with some functional health guy up in Canada. He did all the testing, and my mercury was like 80 times over the limit. And
From too much sushi, or?
yeah, sushi, tuna, and I didn't think about it back then.
Fish, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I was good. I was good for 60, 70 pieces at a time when I ate sushi, 2 to 3 times a week. So I was a big eater. And 2021, did the chelation. It was Jason Huh who actually told me what to do. That's why he retired. Sat down on the phone with me. He told me exactly what to do, what to tell the doctors. I would go weekly for my IV chelation, which basically draws the mercury out, the pills, acupuncture, ozone therapy. Well, when all was said and done, after trying to figure all this out and the treatments, I think I was in like 60 grand. Yeah, it was a lot. And they don't recognize it here in the United States, heavy metal toxicity. 2022, I'm like, okay, time to get big again. Went up to 298 pounds. And Jason Huh warned me. He's like, listen, he's like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. He's like, I don't think you're going to be able to come back. He goes, your central nervous system and immune system's never going to be the same. So I'm like, yeah, right, not me. But I still tried it, right? And I just felt horrible, no matter the dose, no matter what I did. And then it was June 2022 where I went to Flex. I'm like, listen, like, this is what's going on. He's like, list the pros, list the cons. We did that, and the cons far outweighed the pros of me competing, and that was it for competing for me. So it wasn't on my terms, but it was the best thing I could have done.
What did you have to do to get to peace with that?
Honestly, get into something else. Well, 2. I wrote down long-term and short-term goals. It was long-term and short-term goals in my coaching business, finances. About a few weeks after I stopped bodybuilding, came off everything kind of cold turkey. I started doing jiu-jitsu here at Extreme Couture, and the first day I was fucking hooked. I was horrible. I was useless. I barely could last like 10 seconds.
Didn't Flex go with you?
No, he never.
Oh, I thought he was going to fight at one point. I saw it on his social media.
He wanted to, but he never. After a while, I was like, I remember texting. He goes, "You went without me?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I wasn't waiting. But so I was hooked. It reminded me of the first time, like, you know, you discover bodybuilding, you go in a bodybuilding gym. And that kind of gave me a reason to get smaller, not have to take the stuff anymore. So I wanted to get really good at jiu-jitsu, which turned into Muay Thai and kickboxing. And it took a few years because I had to downsize. It was tough to get rid of the size. But between my coaching, all my 1-year goals, I pretty much hit in a matter of 6 to 8 months. So it was just constantly, I need goals. But it did take time for me to really come to peace with that, knowing that I would never win a New York Pro. I would never go to the Arnold. I would never step in the Olympic
Did you
stage.
follow it during that time still?
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah, I kind of, sort of. It bothered me to follow it because I was like, well, I'll never be there. So I kind of took a step back, resituated my coaching business, and I'm like, I'm going to go all in on my guys because you can't be a top-level coach and a top-level bodybuilder. Impossible. I don't care what anybody, well, Milos may say different, but yeah, so I went all in on my coaching at that time, and it was the best thing I did.
Wow. What how expensive was the MMA stuff? Like, did you spend a ton like for getting in? I always wondered how much like do you like how does it work with like
So,
Extreme or from Top Team?
There's
Like,
a few,
how do you pay?
There's a few ways you could do it.
Okay.
You could just go to a gym and take classes, or you can expedite the process and learn one-on-one with somebody. And that's what I did. So when I was here in Vegas, I hired Dennis Davis. I worked with him a few times a week, attended the classes, because the quickest way to learn is, it's kind of like one-on-one coaching. If you go in a class, you only get so much attention. But when it's one-on-one, they can really form you to do what they want you to do, and there's a lot to it. So over the past years, I did a lot of one-on-ones, especially with Tiago. Me and Tiago were good for 4 to 6 times a week, then the jiu-jitsu classes, and then the other classes on top of that. So I did spend a lot of money.
What makes you more broke, bodybuilding or MMA?
MMA 100%. Listen, oh my God. MMA, well,
That's crazy.
definitely bodybuilding.
I would say
Food
bodybuilding.
and
I would
supplements.
say.
Food,
Yeah,
supplements, growth hormone.
Yeah.
If you're using the real stuff. Definitely bodybuilding for sure. Lab work and everything else that
Bodybuilding
goes
might be
into
the most expensive period.
it. It is.
If you really think
Protein's
about
expensive,
it. Just
you know?
just think of at your peak, how much did you spend a year for health, for therapy, for
I
six
used
figures.
to say I spent $100,000 on food alone,
Just food. Yeah. Just think how many times you go chiropractic and you get deep tissue massages once, twice a week.
Exactly.
200 here, 200 here. That shit adds up.
It's
man.
a lot.
And then when you'd have to fly to LA to do it, the flight, the rental car, it's a lot.
I was crazy about it.
But it was an investment for me. I wanted to fight. That was my goal. Once I started seeing that, okay, I could kind of it wasn't like, I knew I wasn't going to the UFC. This is why
You didn't want to go to the UFC? Like,
it's impossible. I was too old. And
what was your background though? You were an athlete, but not wrestling or anything like that.
it's an experience thing. Those guys, that's the top of the top. Unless you're some freak that comes out of college wrestling or
Usually those people have long wrestling background or some
Exactly.
type of
What did
fighting background.
Tiago Alves why did he quit?
at injuries.
Okay.
I think he's had 11 to 13 surgeries. Yeah, his body started to catch up with him.
But he was pretty young when he retired, I thought.
He was, yeah.
I mean, how does a Randy Couture go until he's in his 40s? And
So that was a different time period. Randy was a wrestler his entire life, got into MMA, I believe, was his early 30s, so he got a late start. But also, too, the skill, those guys were rough back then. The skill level was also different back then as well. But he got into it later, but being in the heavyweight class, it was different than, the other weight classes as well.
yeah, I was kind of surprised though when I heard that you moved out of Vegas when you were living
To
here
go fight.
to go
I thought
fight.
this is
And
where
I'm
you'd be.
I thought for sure you were trying to chase down, especially with Flex's connection because you guys were pretty good friends or whatever. I thought, hey, mate, he must have a fast track to try to get into some fights and maybe on a way to doing this for a career. But why did you went to Florida because that was supposedly the best camp to go to?
Again, Extreme Couture here is amazing. I didn't know it at the time, but also too, I think I was just running away from bodybuilding too. I wanted
because by that point people started to migrate here and it
Oh my
became the
God.
capital, right?
It was flooded with.
Does it blow your
bodybuilding.
mind now how much Vegas is the hotbed?
Compared to when I moved here, when I first moved here back in 2020, there was nobody
Do
here.
you ever know some of the stats on how many Olympia champions and whatever?
At one point, there was 13 here at once
See, insane.
in one
And
city.
that's female and male,
but
bikinis
still.
and whatever.
Because you don't think about the Ashley Kaltwalsers and the Shanique Grants and Latoria Watts and Hidetaya and Iris and Flex and Jay and when Mark and Jen were here, Sean Roden. Who else am I missing? Keon, Danny Hester.
Yeah, Danny Hester, yeah.
There's I know I'm missing a couple.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing someone.
It's a lot. When I moved here, I didn't want to be around anyone. I wanted to.
Now Brandon Hendrickson's
Yep,
here.
Brandon Hendrickson's here.
Yeah, it's completely transformed. So being surrounded by it, I didn't want to do. I wanted to focus on my coaching, do MMA, and see what Florida was about. I'm not afraid to start over.
Tell me, is Vegas better than Florida? Because you just moved back in the extreme, and you pulled up on a motorcycle. So
my wife, my wife's car is in the shop. But also too, I love motorcycles, so I ride even when
I
it's
used
hot.
to too until phones came out.
Don't get me started. That's worse.
I had
Florida
Harleys,
drivers.
cat bikes, I had everything.
Did you?
GSXR,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ducatis,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been Harleys for the last 10 years. I stopped riding them when I was trying to.
Listen. If I could put back one more hobby, it would. If I lived in California, could ride up the one like along the beach and stuff, I would definitely have a motorcycle for sure.
Yeah, I stopped riding those years I was trying to come back. I kept my other bike. I have two. I didn't want to risk an injury, but it's always been an important part.
Is it better in Florida to ride though? Isn't it?
No, the people there drive. I mean, they'll run you off the road.
But I feel like we're in a grid, and I don't know what the roads are like. So everything's like a crossroad here, and I'm always like, anytime, even in a car, like I have one like blind light near my house, and I'm like this as I'm crossing, like please, no one run this.
Well,
red
in
light.
the city, in the actual city, you have to be careful. But even in like Boca, people are blowing stop signs, blowing lights.
You know what it is in
lot of older
Florida?
people too,
In
right?
Florida, you get so many different personalities down there driving.
Yeah.
But it's so big because you get the old people from the north, you get the snowbirds, you get the Canadians down there, then you get the New Yorkers down there, and everyone has some are aggressive, some are passive, and it's just there's endless accidents.
How
there.
long were you there for?
I moved there January 2023, so
Okay.
A little over 3 years.
And so you're back in Vegas now.
Yep, just bought a house and I'm not leaving.
That's it, huh? This is it.
I ain't leaving. Well,
And what does your wife think? Is she from here?
no, she's from Colorado originally.
And how'd you talk her into moving to Las Vegas?
Well, that was rough. Getting her to go to Florida was rough until she fell in love with Florida because it's
you
way different than
take her away.
Colorado. But like I said, she supports me in everything that I do, like to the fullest. Like she's my best friend. She's my that's a ride or die. And there were reasons for moving here, business wise too, aside from friends.
So talk about that.
Which one?
Business.
The business.
So for years, I wanted to get into the medical space in somehow, right? I mean, it's becoming a bit, I don't want to say oversaturated now, but me and my good friend Norman, it's something he's been wanting to do for a while. You have these clinics everywhere, clinics, they all do the same thing. But our vision for at least part of it, one part I don't want to reveal publicly, but what we're starting out with, like for instance, most people go to the doctor, oh, you have high cholesterol, here's a statin. No, I don't want that. I want ezetimibe. Ezetimibe's a non-statin medication, which most bodybuilders could benefit
What about
from.
Repatha?
If they need it, if they have arterial plaque buildup. I mean, statins you have to be careful with.
They wanted me to put me. They want to put me on a statin. They
did
suggested it. Yeah.
Did you go on
Just
it?
preventive? No.
Yeah, I mean the
They want,
statin.
and then they mentioned Repatha.
Yeah, I mean the statins. You got to be careful with its effects on the brain and the muscle tissue. It depends. But like ezetimibe, it just basically stops how much cholesterol is absorbing in the stomach, and it does work. So things like that, we want people to have access to TRT, to peptides, to the adjunctive therapies like I'm talking about for cholesterol, blood pressure, Arimidex, Aromazin, hair loss, it goes on. And we have blood work, even more than that. So we're in the process of building it out. We're working on it for months. I mean, I'm hoping we launch within the next month. But that, him and I have been working on it, and it's just much better for me to be here and work on that with him. We have another partner. He's in California. But for me to be here with him and work on that and just have my other friends around me too is important. But that's the next big chapter that is being set up.
Works in conjunction with everything that you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And especially with the marketing plan we have set up, which again, I don't want to go too far detail into it, but it works great. So not only do we have the bodybuilding world and the fitness world, but we're going to target everybody and we'll have something for everybody. And I know some people would say, well, no, you should focus on one. No, that doesn't apply to everything because there's always going to be somebody else looking for something for them. So if you don't have something for them, that's a lost patient. That's a lost, customer that you can help. So, we're, again, still putting it together. It's just about done. But I'm really excited to get it going. I mean, I was like 18. I'm like, one day I'm going to own a testosterone clinic. And I thought I was going to be a guy in a lab coat. Much different times, but yeah.
You mentioned it was difficult. Was it difficult to get your wife here first? And then second, when I was talking to you earlier, I had you on speakerphone and you were talking about your wife does hair. So right away, my wife's like, she does hair? So talk about that.
So I'm not just putting her up on a pedestal. She traveled the country teaching people her system of doing extensions. She worked in Chicago many years ago with one of the biggest hair shows there is in the world. So she's building up her clientele here. Her main part of her business is the extensions. I believe they're called sew-ins. I'm sorry for butchering it. But she does everything. But
I actually know a lot about extensions.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I just know that she sews them in, and I think that's it. But she's actually amazing at what she does. So she's actually been getting a lot of the competitors from here. I mean, a lot, because I don't know, there's not really many hairstylists here that are good. And she actually is, on the top of her game. She filled up quick when she was in Florida. She loves what she does. So, her books are filling up now, but she's very into firearms, even more so than me. So shooting in Florida, going to shooting ranges was a whole to-do. We would have to drive 2 hours north to an outdoor range so, we can run and gun and do. She doesn't like to go to indoor ranges. She has extensive training in like CQB. She competes in pistol and rifle. So she's really good with guns. So coming here, we can drive to Desert Sportsman. We can drive to Boulder City. And she wants to get more into the firearm industry as well. So aside from doing hair, she's also an NPC judge and about to become an IFBB judge within the next year. That's like her way of staying in the industry. She competed in wellness and figure a long time ago. Now she eats a lot of cookies, thank God, but then also firearms. So here she can kind of get deeper into the industry and instructing on the firearm side as well.
Talk about the firearms industry, because I know your family's heavily involved in that.
Yeah, so Cardone Arms USA, I think we started talking about at the beginning. When my dad moved from New York to North Carolina, that's a brand new freedom. Being in the 5 boroughs, good luck getting a gun unless you carry illegally. Not condoning it, but I feel everybody should carry, and so does he. So it's mainly all AR platforms, could build out any caliber, whatever you want, basically. Of course, there's a preset platforms that are already there. For instance, he had a big order go out to the guys in the Baltics and Kosovo, so it's now turning international. It's just still trying to grow it. I think he wants to grow it more internationally than domestically, but can make pretty much anything. And I will put it up against any of these big brands that are out there. Again, my wife, I'm going to shout her out. Her main platform is Cardone Arms USA. That's what she competes with. That's what she trains with. She has put thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rounds through it. And she's rarely ever got a malfunction. And everybody will say the same thing, because they're all put together by hand. They're all machined correctly. If you want to do Cerakoting on it or engraving, it'll be there too. But that's a family business now that's growing. And listen, like, who doesn't love guns,
Can she teach Jay how to shoot?
She can, actually, yeah. She taught me how to shoot really well.
Yeah.
I was very basic.
You go pretty often?
So that was a problem in Florida. For us to go shooting, for her to do content and us to train, and you have to train with firearms. You can't just buy a pistol and think, when something happens, I'm going to be prepared to use it. It's not like that. It's something you have to train with, which, I learned over the years. So we would drive 2 hours north to Okeechobee, pay $400 for the day.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and then drive 2 hours back. So between her work and it's like we barely ever got to go shooting really there. So here it's going to be different now, because we could drive 30 minutes to Desert
They're all over
Sportsman.
the place.
Exactly, we could go anywhere. So that's going to
Go
be a
out to
big
Staccato
thing.
if you really, really want to do it big.
See?
That's 45 minutes.
Much different than
That's
where
like
it was
one of
in
the
Florida.
top in the world out there.
But yeah, no, that was another reason why we moved here too, because we love to shoot. She loves to train. She wants to instruct people.
She's going to end up liking Vegas more than you.
Yeah, well, I think she's already well on her way. Yeah, like I said, her books are filling up quick. She got her hobbies here. I mean, like anybody, me, I've always been, I could just pick up and go.
Same with me.
Now I'm a married man. I can't do that, really.
I could live anywhere. I've lived in 3 countries, 8 states.
See, like
Chameleon.
If I
Just
wasn't
blind
married, like I probably would have went to Thailand to train fucking Muay Thai and live on $3,000 a month, making plenty of money.
$3,000 a month, you're living like
a king,
a millionaire here.
Exactly right. So but I'm happy to say that like I said, we got our house here. We love our neighborhood. We love our house. There's some other business things that I'm going to get into, which I don't want to reveal in here. But yeah, we're looking forward to settling in and getting our roots really solid.
It's awesome.
This is great. We got to get you out shooting, Jay.
It's a time thing. I want to golf too, and it's always.
You
the
know how
same
to
thing.
golf?
I took a couple lessons. I'm not great, but obviously I never did it, you know, so.
You know what we need to do? Let's at least go to Top Golf one day.
I think it's more just a driving range, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is.
I was talking to Angie about that last week because I'm like, you know, I really need to make some effort to do this. You know, we talk about, I want to speak a foreign language too. But it's like one of those things like, is my brain too full to do? You know, you think at 53,
where are
right?
you? Well, your age isn't, I mean, your age is.
You always think your capacity is limited, but I'm on the other side now, and I know sometimes it upsets the fans because I do, you know, I still do some YouTube stuff, and I talk about like my mindset a lot, and like I love business, right? But like I have a lot of projects, you know, I'm also in the, you know, I have a clinic called Kingdom,
right.
So it's basically like a wellness space. You know, I'm doing the supplements and, you know, dabbling in a few things here and there. Yeah. So it's like for me, I have the time factor to be able to commit to doing something a hobby that gives me that good feel. And the training, it's still there. I do it like now. I just told him like I'm training late at night now because I'm actually having a hard time getting a pump as you get a little older. Like that was my whole process to go to the gym was like I judged everything on a pump. And if I don't eat a lot of food, which I don't eat as much now, I don't get a crazy pump. So now if I'm 4 meals deep and I can go to the gym at night, it's amazing. I feel like last night I was covered in veins. I did arms, you know, so I have that feeling in the gym, but I notice if I go after meal one, it doesn't work.
He does. It's weird. He'll like train late at night, and then 3 months from now he'll be training at 5 a.m. on an empty stomach for like 2 months.
So I do switch it up because I think I'm getting bored with the routine so much. I mean, listen, a lot of people my age, like they have their kids and they're doing all the kids stuff. Like that wasn't my objective. What I wanted to do. So for me, I'm still moving. Like we go to New York this weekend for Steve's big 40th anniversary event. Yeah. So like we're moving around still. I was promoting a show in Virginia last weekend, and you know, end of the month we go to California for the expo. So I'm still moving around quite a bit, but I noticed that like what gets me up in the morning? Like I'm not chasing dollars anymore necessarily. I want success and I want to be able to mentor people in a sense, but I got to do things for myself too, right? I get excitement, like driving fast or whatever else. Those aren't maybe things I like to do, you know?
Right.
Like I'd love to get on a motorcycle. Like you pulled up a motorcycle, I'm like, dude, that must be pretty cool. But then I drive down the street and some asshole pulls out in front of me. I'm like,
wasn't there a period where in your contract you weren't allowed to ride a motorcycle?
My muscle tech contract had no extreme sports. So like downhill skiing, which I did a lot of. I'd love to get back to that too, but like anytime I see snow, I'm like, you know, living out here, that changes. I'm sure because now you're like, do you go back to New York for any reason?
No,
or?
all my family's moved away.
And I'm kind of surprised you guys are in the arms business because like New York is like the worst place in the world to own a gun.
That's what kind of.
I don't know what's worse, California or New York.
They're both bad.
They're both horrible.
No, actually,
awful.
I think New York is worse.
Bad too.
New York is worse because you can get a permit in California now.
Yep,
you can. Even we can. It's just a process. Yeah. New York, you just no.
Yeah, especially the 5 boroughs. But that's the thing, though. When you're so restricted and then you have these freedoms.
Your dad's like, new industry.
So what about the concrete business? Like, is he still dabbling in concrete?
He still is. Listen. One of my goals is to retire him because it's decorative.
How old is he now?
65.
Okay, so he's at that age. My brother's age. It's my brother's age, actually.
Yeah, 65. So pretty sure he's 65 or he's maybe a little older. But he works his ass off. You know, he does all the work himself. Nobody can replicate what he does. It's all specialty work. I mean, when he first started, it was stamped concrete. Maybe some countertops, more it's, you know.
It's good business here about stamped concrete.
It's very good. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I looked at when I bought my house, I saw how they stained the driveway. I'm like, what a shitty stain job. I sent him and he goes, yeah, we need to work on that. But yeah, no, he still does all the work. My brother's there in North Carolina with him, so he helps him, but he still breaks his ass.
You never thought about moving to North Carolina? Did you go out there and check it out?
I did.
I love North Carolina. Like, I've visited there a lot.
It's nice.
I do. My business is based there. Like,
okay.
Yeah, a couple of my businesses, actually.
Yeah, so I did. I mean, where he is, he's kind of in the woods, not in the woods. It's peaceful. It's cheap as hell to live, but
not enough going on.
But then again, too, like I struggle too because I'm like, man, it would be nice to be close to my dad again. But yeah, I went to Florida, and like I said, with everything going on here,
it's been like you're setting up your life now.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to go where it's best for you and your family.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, thank God I've done pretty good over the years. And now it's, I'm married now. I want to start thinking about, even further, I don't want to work forever. I don't,
But you don't punch a 9 to 5, bro.
No.
I always say, Matt, sometimes we talk about like circumstances, like, man, he's like, I got to do this. I said, bro, I remember
very
you
easy
calling
life.
me when you worked he worked a 9 to 5 and he used to call me for like, hey,
I did for like 4 months of my life.
accounts and that he was
fucking hated
sitting
it.
at a desk and, you had to show up and you had someone breathing over you like, hey, what were your numbers today?
I never had to do that.
Yeah. Can you imagine
No.
I did it for 4 months.
being an entrepreneur and just having that person like, okay, did you get your duty done? No. So I have to remind him all the time. But he's big into the arms. Like he loves the
I
guns.
know. We go back and forth about it a lot.
I just don't talk
And
about
I
it.
was, my brothers took me out and they put a shotgun in my arm when I was like 6 years old and I shot a woodchuck and it knocked me on my ass,
You're a killer.
And, but that was the nice thing about my brother he raises cattle on a farm out there. Like they just go out in the back and just boom, 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 shoot. Like
that's what my
there's
dad
no
does.
restrictions whatsoever.
That's what my dad does, because right in the backyard,
Yeah.
automatic rifles.
So when you're talking about, like-
he's licensed to do so. He's just want to put that out there. But yeah, just goes out in the back and just lets it rip.
I mean, the coyotes used to come in and get the chickens. We had chickens. And my dad be like, you got to go kill the chickens, because they got a hold of them and they were all beat up or whatever. And then he never wanted to kill the animals, My dad used to keep some of the cows as pets. So it was like, he didn't ever like killing the animals,
Okay.
Cow.
Yeah.
I don't blame
Where
him.
my
I
brother
love
raises
animals.
cattle for,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, pretty rural background where I come from, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I knew you came from a farm background.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I do think about that sometimes. Like back home in the Midwest, you could just go in the backyard and shoot.
Do whatever you
Neighbors
want.
do. Or if you wanted to go to a range, they're all funded by the county.
Right.
You would just go out and there'd be a massive range and it would just say, leave something. You just leave $1.
Yep.
Just enough for them to clean it up. And
Do you take advantage of the Vegas lifestyle at all? Restaurants, entertainment.
Well, yeah. So definitely restaurant. Me and my wife love to eat. So like our thing in Florida, we would drive down to Miami on a Sunday night, go eat.
Where?
Depend poppy steak.
And that's also a
Carbones.
3-hour experience.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Drive
Yeah,
there,
a little over
drive
2
back.
hours. Yeah, it should have been 40
So
minutes.
you dressed up and did the whole thing?
Yeah. So I mean, listen, we'll get dressed up. We'll go out and eat, or like last week we went to Good Pie, in Henderson. But yeah, we definitely like to eat. In terms of like entertainment, to be honest, we just moved here, so we haven't really ventured out.
Can I ask you what your diet's like now?
So I mean, I don't really weigh my food out like that anymore, but I eat 4 to 5 times a day.
So do you still have like meal 1 through X instead of like breakfast?
Yeah. So no,
dinner.
well, no, yeah, it pretty much is like that, because it's sometimes I eat 4 meals, sometimes I eat 5. But it's not like I'm like, I got to follow my macros, which I may start doing a little more now, just because I want to do like a little bit of a transformation that I may be getting surgery for my neck. But for a while, I actually stopped eating. I was like, man, I don't have to eat anymore. I'm like, no more 6 or 7 meals. This is great. So I would eat breakfast and dinner, which was not good for me because as I was trying to downsize, but I loved it. I would load up on fruit, steak, and eat twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. But with the level of training that I was doing, that became a hindrance because I didn't have the energy to sustain it. But now I have to eat 4 to 5 times a day. But if I miss a meal, it's like I'm not gonna, stress it.
Do you know Matt did? Felt he was allergic to food, so he did one of those food tests and allergy tests, and he had nothing. He was
So Dom, the other Dom,
Super slice.
yes, Super Slice. He had me do like the whole gut thing.
Okay.
And he calls me and he's like, "Did you really do this?" I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, you have the most perfect digestion I've seen in years. I'm like, "There's no way. Like I have to."
But
have
he's
issues.
all fucked up.
But I'm not.
Really?
But you were.
The problem that I have, and this is just process of elimination.
Okay.
I've over the years I've developed some sort of intolerance to dairy.
Okay.
Which I never had. I grew up in Wisconsin, so I eat cheese on everything.
Right.
As soon as I removed dairy, all the problems went away.
Yeah, but you know what it is too? It's this country's food.
It's just food here. I go to
Exactly.
Italy, I ate a whole pizza, and I have no
Exactly.
problem.
I remember spending a month
Yes.
in Germany.
No
and
problems.
This is before I moved to Vegas. Way back then, I ate everything. I remember you could eat pizza, you could eat bread,
You eat pizza, and it goes through you like chicken and
cold
rice
cuts.
here.
Yep, no issues. I even have clients. So leave to go to Europe. Like, oh my God, I feel so good. They come back. Our food here is junk.
See, I my future plans, I'll live overseas half the year because my wife's from South Africa. And the food there is even, in my opinion, is even better than Italy, better than Europe.
Really?
Yes. It's got some of the greatest meats in the world. And down there, I can feel like a normal person.
You Italian, obviously, right?
Full Italian.
You can eat all kinds of food and you come home and you weigh the same. Here, you have one bite of pizza and like I'm hot flashes and my stomach's hurting and I just can't now.
Have you been to the Carbone in New York?
No,
They
never.
said that one's like the best of all the Carbone.
Listen,
And it's very small. You have to it's months for
that's
reservations.
the original,
Yeah,
I believe. So back in New York, you didn't really go to Carbone's. We had this place, Vincent's in Queens, and you had the mom and pop places that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years. Like you had your spots. You weren't going to Carbone's, which nothing replaces those mom and pop places. But the one in Miami, listen, even when me and my wife first went there, it was actually a client and his wife were flying in. They were going to go with us. Anyways, the airlines were being shut down and whatever it was. I think it was when the government shutdown was going on. So, do you want the reservation? I'm like, sure, we'll go. In my head, I'm like, this is probably going to be some commercialized Italian food.
It's good.
Oh my God. I ate myself sick that night. Literally, it was really, really
Do you
good.
still eat like a glutton when you can eat? Like,
No,
stuff
no.
yourself?
No, well, it depends too. Like if I didn't eat the whole day, then yeah. But like when, years ago when her and I would go out to eat, it would just be.
Matt used to stuff himself like crazy.
Dude,
where he
you know
held
when you
his
were talking
stomach.
about I used to eat sushi twice a day for years.
How much sushi? I never seen anyone eat like him
I would
ever.
eat sushi.
You got your mercury checked.
No problem.
doesn't
Maybe I
now.
did at
He
one
doesn't eat
point.
it now, yeah.
No, now I don't even. Now I'm afraid to eat I'm afraid to eat out. I just eat everything at home.
Really?
Like, because you don't realize that you'll get a steak and potato, and you don't realize they'll put a little butter on the plate or something in that tiny little butter. I can tell within 5 minutes I'll feel a pain in my stomach, and my stomach will start pushing out, filling with gas. Like within 5 minutes of me consuming any
Plus
type of
he's a
dairy.
hypochondriac, with that.
I'm actually not a hypochondriac.
Are you a hypochondriac?
I have zero health issues. Zero. Except my transplanted eye and my fucked
I
up
can
shoulder.
eat anything, bro. My stomach's
I
like
used to have an iron gut. Now I
So,
can't.
I used to. My mom used to call me a human garbage can.
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat everything. If it was in the fridge, I fucking ate it. But now, I think the mercury thing, of course, maybe bodybuilding. Yeah, now I have my stomach could be a bit messy. So that's why, too, I'm like, all right, I've done all this shit to my body. Let me take a little bit extra care of it, But yeah, my stomach could get messy.
That's what I think about living overseas half the year. I've done enough shit to myself throughout my life that I'm sure all of us have taken years off our lives.
You look back at bodybuilding and sometimes wonder why you chose to do it, or do you feel like you have to be respectful because it's built this platform for you in your visibility? Do you look back and regret anything? Like, you would say, how did I do that? How did I go to the gym and train at that capacity? How did I eat 7 times a day? How did I lock myself in the bedroom when I was 17, 18?
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Is there any kind of like, because I look back and I'm like, that's a different person for me, Dom. Like, people try to, like, they bring it back to me because they're like, so what was it like when, in 08 after you, like, I'm launching a book now, right? I'm writing a book on my life story. So I have like all these topics and I'm like, okay, express your mind after your 08 Olympia loss. And I'm like, holy moly, like that was a bad time, Or like when I got divorced in 11 and my dog died and I tore my bicep a week out and Muscle Tech cut my contract 50%. And like, I think about how dark moments those were. And it's like, I don't think about it until people bring me back to it. But I honestly don't have any regrets because it built a crazy life for me. But I could never, if you said, hey, we need you to repeat this, I could never do it.
I mean, I regret nothing because I have the life I have now because of bodybuilding. But so because of my wife and AJ, I've gotten close. I know people say you're getting closer to God, but I really did. Her and I got baptized together before we got married. So everything happens exactly as it should have. So I regret nothing, nothing at all. It's given me a great life. It's connected me with amazing people all around the world. I mean, I was a fucking kid from Brooklyn who literally lived out his dream of being a pro bodybuilder. I didn't get to the Olympia. I didn't win pro shows. It's all good. But I was 15 years old telling people I'm going to be a pro bodybuilder. I was telling my mom I'm going to be a pro bodybuilder. And I did it. And it's given me a business where I've been able to not only, make great money and support my family, but help change lives and guide them down the right path. So I don't regret anything, but it was definitely a very different person. But also some of that bled into, MMA training in a way. I mean, that was much harder. I mean,
No, bodybuilding's the hardest thing you'll ever do. That's what we all say.
yeah, no way. No
Really?
way.
Okay.
Well, you don't get punched in the face in bodybuilding.
Yeah, or when you're exhausted and you have to get yourself
Do or die. It's life or death.
somebody's literally on top of you. It's not as easy as just stand up, that was insane. But that's also why I loved it. But also too, bodybuilding wasn't ever hard for me back then because I loved it that much. And even from a young age, my dad always instilled in us about discipline and you never give up. Like you always finish what you started. So that was never an option. I cheated on my diet once my entire bodybuilding career, pre-contest, and it was when I was 16. I remember I go to the fridge, see the pizza, I take a bite of the pizza. I remember I felt horrible. I was 16 years old. I felt so guilty, and I never wanted to feel that
Never
again.
been in the fridge.
Should have never did it. But after that, I'm like, I'm going to be a pro one day. I'm like, to myself, I would never say that outwardly. I'm like, I'm never going to make that let that happen again. So I don't have any regrets at all. Like I've achieved my goal at a very young age, which, at the time it was the youngest in history since Barry DeMay. Yeah, no regrets at all. Could I do bodybuilding again? No. I'm in a much different path in life.
I could tell. I asked you because when you walked in and I said, are you going to get back to I meant bodybuilding, like training,
just getting in shape,
capacity,
like swollen.
And you were like, you answered, no. Like it's like now, like people say to me, are you going to come back? And people still ask me that.
They still ask you that?
Yes, man, yes. Because they still see the hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They still see the monster and
Right.
they probably think, oh, it's a switch and you can just, people don't understand like the density and.
And you literally are almost 100 pounds less than what you were.
Yeah, I'm 215. Lightest I've been since high school.
You're 215?
215, yes.
I thought you were like 225,
Yeah,
230 at the
I was
least.
230 forever. And then I took some Retta and dropped to.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
Wow, you did the cheat code. There it is.
So now on a totally different topic, what do you think of the current bodybuilding field?
Who's the best bodybuilder in the world?
Right now?
Derek Lunsford?
Well, yeah, I mean, Derek is
I think he's going to win again, bro.
It's okay. So I hate making predictions these days because
don't
we're
do
not-
predictions.
I know
We
we
don't.
don't do predictions. We stopped breaking down shows because it's impossible.
I'm
There's
glad-
a lot of variables.
I'm
yeah.
glad you guys look at it the same way because you don't know how these
No.
guys could show up. So it's impossible to say. But Derek, I've always been a fan of his physique. Even when he was doing the 212, I'm like, man, if this guy goes to the open, he's going to be a problem. I also, too, I like the way Derek has changed himself. He admits that at one point came off like a dick. He said it before. He has transformed himself, and it bothers me, though, that people down-talk him when he speaks confidently. First off, I mean, I've never been at that level. If you're at the top of your game and want to get or at that level, you should be confident in yourself, and you should speak
Every
about
person
it.
going in a show should be confident.
Exactly.
period.
And if you talk about it in a humble way, what's wrong with that? And I think that's what's missing from bodybuilding today too, which partially because of social media, everybody became so accessible, right? Nobody really has like a character, right? I remember when I got into bodybuilding, it was, as the kids would say today, aura. Like, oh, he's got like aura. But you had Jay, you had Ronnie, you had Kai, you had Branch was like that blue Phil Heath, Branch was like the blue collar horse riding guy from Texas who trained hardcore. You had Jay, the farm kid from Boston. You had Ronnie. Everybody had like a character, but it was you guys being you. And I think, bodybuilding at the end of the day, aside from being a competition, is supposed to be entertainment. So what draws people in? Entertaining. You look at fighters. Some of the greatest fighters have to be good entertainers, have a good character, football, whatever. So I feel like that's missing a little bit. I do believe it's because, one, people on social media are so quick to attack these guys. Like they will attack them and it even went on back then on the forums, but it was different. Like, so they made...
It didn't hit your cell phone on the forums.
Exactly.
You had to go to the computer and seek it.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I don't want to say it's a lack of personality with some of them. Maybe these guys hold back. I don't know what it is.
I'll say this, and I know this will upset people. There's no stars in bodybuilding.
No, you know what it is, though? I'll tell you guys what it is, okay? I think Samson, where he comes from, is very popular, like among the Brits and whatever, because He actually migrates and gets out. He doesn't get to the States as much to go out, but me and Ronnie were out every weekend. So you got to see, like I talked about, the movement and how the aura and how we kind of walked and talked and reacted to people in this. Instead of just being on social media, like Nick Walker, like he doesn't get out there as much. So like whatever he says on social media, they just want to berate him, just like with Derek, right? I mean, listen, he has a strong belief in faith, which some people take it good and bad, which, you know, he's like, you know, they kind of make fun of it in a way, but I don't think that's the right, like, I don't believe in that, but you can't control what reactive. People used to call me the refrigerator and this. I didn't get upset about it. Yeah, because listen, I was a big dude. I wasn't aesthetic. I never claimed I was. But that's the funny thing is, like, people say the things that I realize the situation. Like, but wasn't going to get on there and say, hey, you're right. You know, this and that. But, you know, you go to work and you just do your thing and you have a personality. And we don't know these guys as deep today. Like Hadi's in Iran. Derek, I mean, he's kind of putting himself out there, but there's no more guest posing, so people aren't getting out there and guest posing
They're
anymore.
not really getting to meet them.
No.
See, the big difference and the reason that Jay and Ronnie they're still the most popular in the world. I don't care what anyone says. They still are.
1,000% agree.
Because for 2 decades, 40 weekends out of the year, they were somewhere in the world shaking hands and kissing babies. And the guys don't do that now. They fight
But
it.
that's why I asked you, like you said, I got to see Ronnie, I got to see you, you went there and you actually witnessed live. They don't have that opportunity because I'm going to ask you, when's the last time Derek or Nick
guest post.
guest posed?
Pittsburgh.
I mean, besides Pittsburgh, it's the only place, right?
No, it doesn't really
I mean,
go
Samson
on.
did it overseas, but
you said it the best, Matt. There's no star power. And Jay, you said it well too. Listen, this is me talking as like a fan. I don't want to talk from a high pedestal. I've never been on your level. It's just me from the outward looking in and being a fan of bodybuilding my whole life. You know, going to I went out of my way as a teenager to go to the BMCC theater to watch Kai guest pose, watch you. Like the guy, and I watch and I'm like, shake their hand, and you go to the Arnold Expo and you wait in line to meet these guys, and supplement stores. Remember the supplement?
Yeah, of course.
How many Muscle Tech had you all over the place? And that was the way. So, I mean, again, I feel like these guys have to get out there because how do you build a fan base?
And another thing, and I'm going to say this, Jade never turns anyone down, nor does Ronnie. There are guys now that fans will come up to them, say, can I have a picture? And they'll say, no.
So I've heard.
Yes.
Can't do that.
They do it, and they don't understand. You do that, they're going to tell 100 people how much of a dick you
we
are.
have social media now. It spreads fast.
Oh,
you know?
it's now that
before his message boards, right?
you don't realize it. They might do it, and somebody might be filming it, and now it's over for you.
But I hate this. It's
why be a dick?
I'm going to say that's a testament to the person's character. Yeah. Because what a privilege it is for somebody to look up to you and ask for a picture of. Yeah, maybe few ego, but you're making somebody's day. Like when I was up and coming, I was kind of popular as the young guy, and this. So when somebody would ask, I would think of you. I would think about who have I met, and like you never know whose day you may make the next few years of their life. They're gonna never forget that.
Another thing too, me, like most of the places Jay travels around the world, I go with him, and I see this from a front row. And there's times where we'll be on the other side of the world, and I'm the person standing there, you know, helping people come through, and they start telling me their story beforehand. And you'll hear someone like, hey man, like there's one time in Germany, they're like, we drove 14 hours straight through to come here just to meet Jay. We're going to turn around and drive back. And I told him this. He's like, whatever they want, just give it to them.
Yeah.
Because they literally spent 28 hours, their day off, just to come take a picture.
And these are
with
people
him.
that work
Normal
blue-collar
jobs.
bro.
That's right.
This isn't
their whole
you, me, or
paycheck.
Matt. Like we're entrepreneurs and we're talking about not punching clocks. Yeah. These are people that are on budgets, so they're saving up. Like this is our yearly. Sorry, honey, we're gonna go to the FIBO and we're gonna spend $1,000 on that weekend to go meet a guy that motivated me. It's okay. Instead of we're not gonna take a trip to the mountains. And the wife's like, okay, that's what you want to do.
But this happens all the time. But you never know when an athlete or just a famous person in general, you don't know the path that person took there to see you. Mm-hmm. You don't know. They might have had a sibling pass away and their sibling was a fan of you or something. You have no idea what they went through in that small little moment of time that you disrespect them. You don't realize the ripple effect that
he
that
understands
has.
it because you've changed people's lives with your coaching process. How many people have said to you, Dom, you don't know how much, like they've worked with other coaches or they didn't have the knowledge to, wow, I never knew this. And these are smart people, Dom. These are probably highly intelligent. You're probably looking at them, they're in professional jobs or whatever, making 10 times the money you make.
Yes.
And they're coming to you like how to eat plain chicken and rice or vegetables in a sequence to lose or for the health markers.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what turned into another driver for me the past few years too, but not putting people over one another based on status, because you never know whose life you can change. Either it be a small act of kindness, one conversation, or it be coaching, right? I always have this thing, right? If you can help at least one person truly change, then your job is good. Obviously, you want to do it to as many people as you can, but my fulfillment, what I do is people being happy, being impacted, because you can influence somebody to do things, but to impact them is much greater. And I think that's kind of ties into like what we were just talking about with social media and the guys today. Yeah, there's lots of influencing going on, come and go. But when you have guys in the past like Jay, like Ronnie, all those guys, impactful shit, fans for life. He doesn't compete anymore. Still gets out there. People still support him because of the impact he's had. And then look at Ronnie in a wheelchair or whatever. People
Smiling.
Yep. And it's that impact that they have that, again, me and where I'm at in my life, it's a matter of how can I impact this person in a positive way and not just influence. So, yeah.
What infuriates me is when a promoter will reach out and say, hey, can you get me this guy or this guy? And I'll reach out to them and say, no, I don't want to do that. And then Ronnie will go, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's there all day. And other guys that are completely healthy, have nothing better to do, they'll turn it down, or they'll show up an hour late, or they'll leave an hour early. And here's Jay and Ronnie. They're still there, but that's why they're in the position they're in.
And I assume these are paid appearances.
Of course.
So that's another thing, too. Don't you want to make money? So it's not like
you can't do this till you're 70. Well, maybe him and Ronnie can. That's
yeah,
about it.
Like, don't you want to make money? Like, get it while it's there, but also too, like, if you go do that appearance, sure, I don't know how much, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, you're meeting more people who are going to be attached to your brand, where you can.
You know how much you're going to make at home that weekend?
Exactly.
Nothing.
How much are you going to spend?
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Who knows what the hell they do? I know what some of them do, but yeah, it's strange. Like, I mean, I look at the position a lot of these guys are in, and I'm like, if I was in there, if I had the option, which if I had the option, I wouldn't. But if things were different, I'll be like, man, what have the guys that have been successful before me done? I'm going to emulate that in my own way. Win, lose, or draw, let's make money, let's build a legacy, let's create a strong following, and make an impact. So the roadmap is there from the guys who have been there. Done
of course.
Dom, so like the landscape of the Olympia, we have classic physique, we have men's physique. I'm just going to focus on the male side. There's how many women?
There's
divisions
7
now?
women's divisions.
Yeah. So I know your wife did the female side, so I don't want to disrespectful. I'm sorry. What's her name?
Stephanie,
I'm sorry to be disrespectful on your divisions, but
she knows how to use guns.
yeah. So the men's physique is out of control, Dom. Like, the guys are unbelievable. It may be at this year's Olympia the most competitive division of all of them.
I agree.
As far as have Carone, who trains here. Yep. I mean, you have Ali Bilal, you have Ryan Terry, you have Aaron Banks,
right.
You have all these other guys.
Corey just won the one in Atlanta.
Yeah. Dude, it's like a laundry list that you used to, when you looked at bodybuilding, it was like Sean Ray, Kevin Leverone, Flex Wheeler, Nasser somebody, Ronnie, it's like, okay, top 12, 15 guys are unreal. Classic physique, we have a lot of guys, obviously Brazilian. I don't know that deep because I don't follow it that close.
I don't follow class. I follow bodybuilding fairly closely, and 212, open and 212, but the other classes I don't follow.
But you still have 8 guys that are probably, unless you get a breakthrough person.
Yeah.
I mean, we get this guy from Russia, that crazy guy, that he's really big, but is it, Wabonick's still lurking around, and you got Brandon Curry, who's still a contender.
There's a very good chance the same guys will be in the top 6. I think
the kid Tony O'Burton can really break through.
He could get. he could get there, but one of the guys in the top 6 would have to be.
But like a Hunter Labrada is not in it, right? He sat out another year. He was
Same thing.
potentially.
You got Hottie, Andrew, Samson, Derek, Nick, and Martin. Those 6, it's going to be tough for someone to get through them. Can it happen? Anything can happen.
Who has
It's
the best
bodybuilding.
body in professional bodybuilding? Not let's just body wise. Who would you say is Andrew Jack or Samson have the best physiques as far as structure?
Overall physique?
Yeah.
To me, I'm going to go on the side of Andrew. He's got the super wide shoulders, small, tiny waist, super round muscle bellies.
Peak biceps.
Crazy
Stupid
arms.
bicep.
Legs have come up. His backside's come up quite a bit. Could he use more? He's a tall guy, sure. But his structure, when he stands next to the guys, because he's so tall and so wide, but yet so round, he stands out massively.
It's like a statue.
Exactly. And when he comes in shape, I mean, he's a problem. And he will expose all your weaknesses. You know, I know again, people hate on everybody, but that man, like, he has come a long way. So for me, I'm going to be honest, like, he's one of my
He's
top
the
picks.
ideal.
Yeah, in current
Like
day.
who would have thought 10 years ago a guy at 6'2"
He's 6'2".
would have been a contender for the Olympia? Because in our world that didn't exist.
Right.
Like I was 5'9", Phil was 5'9", Doreen was 5'10", Ronnie 5'11", Tony Freeman and Gunter were tall guys.
Right.
What we used to say,
6
they
foot,
weren't
6'1".
big enough, right?
Right.
I mean, Dexter Jackson. I mean, all these guys were shorter. Branch Warren. I mean,
You know what? Me and somebody were just talking, because Samson is
he's
not short.
No,
6 foot.
You have him, you have Andrew. So it's pretty funny to see where it's evolving. But yeah, Andrew definitely structurally and shape-wise, he's up there.
So you pay attention to it a little bit.
You know, I think it's funny. So Regan is just shy of 270, and he's small. He's too small.
No, he was pretty big at this show
Well, he
against the
looked huge.
lineup he was there.
But I mean, when he's standing next to, like in the open, it's
right.
tough for
I
him
mean,
because he's.
you went to the show. He just came back from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I actually have been listening. Like I've listened to some of the podcasts just because obviously I stay in the space.
Right.
And a lot of people think, okay, his structure is better than James Hollingshed. He could have won because if you base on structure instead of looking at rugged, hardcore, ripped muscle, like that's where the judging sways a little bit, right? But do you feel like do you feel like there probably would be deeper talent in the open if we didn't have classic physique?
1,000%. 1,000%.
I said that. Like, listen, I'm not criticizing the division whatsoever, so I don't want people to think that. But like, you look at Urs, who came up. Now he's trying to do open, right? Or like C-Bum, like did an open show. I mean, it's just like 212. Like Flex never got the opportunity, but you see Clarita came in, and you see Hottie and William Bonnick and Derek, all these
Antonio
guys. So
Burton,
yeah,
all of them came from 212.
But you know, the division sometimes it doesn't give the allotment for people to reach their full potential, in a sense. If you notice, a lot of guys in Classic are pretty tall.
It's true. But imagine if some of those guys were able to give full effort to the open. I mean, I've said it for a long time. Look at the local shows. How many bodybuilders are really there? How many physique and classic guys are
You know
there?
why though? Because everybody wants it now, and to be an open guy.
Takes
Not
time.
everybody's like you and turn pro at a young. Same with him. Most
Do you
people
tell
it
your
takes a
clients
decade.
That it takes time?
It's a density game and like
Absolutely.
muscle.
It's time.
What's a peak age for you think for a body if you start like at the age that we did? I mean, you started pretty young, but I started at 18, Dom. So like, I feel like I was in my 30s in my prime.
Well, a lot of guys hit their prime in their 30s because at that point, as long as they've taken care of their health, injuries aren't wearing them down, then that muscle maturity, I know people today say muscle maturity isn't a thing. It absolutely
It's
is.
100% a thing.
The skin changes, the look of the muscle changes. I mean, look how you evolved. I mean, look how anybody really evolves if they do things the right way. But yeah, early 30s. But we're seeing a lot of guys now kind of peak late 20s and kind of fade off. I don't know if you would agree with that.
Yep. Too many
Yeah, but
drugs too soon.
Exactly.
Matt just says it.
My opinion. I don't care.
Cool.
But you know what? They compete until after 40 now. Like a lot of the pros, you got Andrew and Samson. All these guys are pushing the big 4-0.
Didn't they start late?
I don't
They
know.
did, yeah.
I don't.
Andrew started, I think,
late,
like
so did Samson.
2019.
Yeah.
This is what I think it is.
Well, he turned pro, I think, late.
When all of us kind of came up in the industry, the guys, when you started taking things, it was very minimal to get yourself to that next level. Now what happens is you have gym bros that they'll read online, this is what Jay took when he won in 09, so I'm going to take the same thing to do the fucking local classic. Right. And that's what happens. So by the time you turn pro, you've burned every receptor out of your body. There's nothing else you can do to where, whether it's, and I'll use Phil as an example, because I knew what Phil took to turn pro. And I guarantee you it's less than the average gym guy here.
I know what it is too.
So as he progressed, as he added things, his body could grow and respond. Right. But if you've already shot your load before you even start, where else can you go except down?
And, you know, people would say, oh, they're genetically blessed. We need more. No, I see it all the time. People, they're not patient enough.
Yeah.
You have to have patience and you have to take time off. They just want to keep gunning and gunning and gunning it. Like, why? First of all, why do you want to keep injecting yourself?
Because it's TRT, bro.
It's
cruising, bro.
What do you want?
It's only a gram a week. Come on.
That's why when I started taking testosterone again after coming off, I would tell people, I was still kind of jacked too. And like people in jiu-jitsu, tell me, yeah, take TRT. And they would look at me like, in my head, I'm like, I know why you're looking at me. It is only 150 milligrams, but TRT's become like that big cover up, just TRT. Trend master on it.
You know, it's gonna. You know, I'm not gonna lie though. When I was a kid, when I was young 20s, there was all these rumors about what Dorian did, or like Lee Priest was on something because he was short, dwarfism. He was given growth hormone at a young age because he was short. Like there was all these rumors.
Yeah.
But now we have, of course, the internet. It spreads a lot quicker.
Right.
And everyone wants the fix it quick answer thing. That okay, so let's just.
Yeah.
Someone took a shortcut to get there. Shortcut. I mean, shortcut make money. Shortcut do this. Shortcut to the top.
There were no shortcuts.
Yeah, and that's the thing with bodybuilding. Just like the success to build a solid business, there are zero shortcuts. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing about like your background and being a blue collar guy. Doing the concrete, all that stuff. It migrates into your business sense, into what passion you do, and your coaching, and obviously your relationships. I mean, It sounds like a very strong relationship, whether it's with God or with your wife or whatever else, your friends, your passion. You mentioned you came back here for your friends too. I mean, I've always heard about that.
Shout out to Norm.
Yeah. Love you, Norm.
Yeah. Norm's a fan of bodybuilding too,
He is.
He competed in my show
with us.
No, he competed in my show.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah.
He's not competing anymore.
I'm going to tell him he needs to compete.
No, he's going to say no way. He's going to say no. He's going to say the same
We went out
thing.
to eat the other night. He's like, I'm not competing. I can have dessert.
Does Norm have the best home gym of all time?
I would say it's up there. Yeah, I would say he loves his home gym. And so it's up there.
His home gym would be like yours. You got the exotic car and the lift next to the leg
he's
press.
He's got a few. His business out there. But.
Is he training mostly there now?
Yeah. So for instance, like because we're working on the business, like we'll have our meetings at his house usually. Either be on Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like my training isn't anything hard. I'm just trying to stop some of the atrophy coming from this neck. So we will train in his house, get it in quick. But now I have to start weight training a little bit more because I need to slow some of this atrophy. So we mainly train there. Like I went to Dragon's Lair a couple times. Thing is, it's just a little far from my house, especially with the way my time has been.
And the traffic's been bad with that around that time.
And right now I really need to make sure I stay on my schedule and between my client work, the clinic, and everything else, I need to stick to a schedule. But yeah, I am weight training a little bit more now, which is different.
Well, we would love to have you on as things progress and maybe get some.
Absolutely.
If we ever do kind of a breakdown, you'd be a great character to help us a little bit with that, because Matt's still trying to talk me into doing a couple breakdowns a year.
We stopped doing them.
You did?
People get so angry if you give an opinion that doesn't favor them.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Like I said, Dom, you can't be fucking Superman every show. And, Ronnie Coleman, me, Phil Heath, we all had our ups and downs. Yeah. Granted, whether you win or lose, it's very hard to get progressively better. It's like Keon, like last year, they got, it wasn't his best, right? And it bothers him. So this year he's trying to slam the door shut and be better in that division. And, they want you to say, oh, he's going to come smoke him. I mean, I remember the year Rami lost. Mm-hmm. He got 5th. Yeah. And I would sat on our podcast and said, no one's touching this guy. He's a freak. He just has to show up.
Yeah.
And he got 5th place.
There's too many variables.
You can't. That's
so I hate predictions, and I hate
because anything could happen. You don't know what could happen. So breakdowns are different, but again, people get upset. It's like, it's whatever. As long as it's in a respectful manner, it's supposed to be a sport at the end of the day. It's more of a pageant than a sport.
Pageant, yes.
Oh, so you agree. Okay, so, all right, so
It is,
don't flame me for that. No. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of circle back to what you were just saying, listen, a great champion knows how to lose. And it's very rare somebody wins every single time. Look at any sport. No football team, very rare a fighter goes undefeated their whole career. I don't know any bodybuilders that went undefeated their whole career. So it's like
Not even Lee Haney. He lost one show, didn't he?
Yeah, he did his first one, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, at least he had his taste of it early on. As much as it is great to win, you got to know how to lose, because that could be the demise of everything. So
I went to the show in
Lex Lewis, the one, all his, no,
the Olympias. The Olympias, yeah.
all the attempts he made, or
He didn't lose at an Olympia.
he didn't lose one?
Not on the Olympia stage, no.
I don't think
We're gonna have to
so.
ask him when we have him on.
Yeah, he hasn't lost on the Olympia stage.
I'm gonna tell him
He's,
that.
I mean, he's won most of his shows for sure.
Well, dude, he was 7 in a row. I mean, did he go compete in the 202 or wasn't it 210?
No,
or
he did 202. I think one of his first ones.
David Henry. No, David Henry beat
I don't
him.
remember that.
He
I
did.
knew Flex did a couple open. He did an open show.
Yeah, I believe it was in Korea? I can't remember. It was so long ago. But yeah, he won pretty much almost all of his shows from beginning to start, and then obviously his
Flex
Olympias.
Lewis would be the best personal trainer of all time.
Best personal trainer.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like he's like he just when he's in the gym and like if and he's locked in and training with someone, I mean he trained around him too, but
100%.
I think he'd be really good trainer.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
Have you ever thought about that?
It's just when you've seen him train with people, there's one thing when someone stands there, he like really gets invested in the movement.
Him and I trained together for a long time before I moved away. And yeah, if people didn't come into the gym and ask for pictures, he never turned anybody down in the gym. But he was really into it the entire time.
He gets intense when he's it's not just training. When he's training with somebody, he's still intense.
Right.
I just think like Neil passed so much knowledge onto him, and his confidence is so good that like, and he comes, he's from the country. You know what I mean? It's like the blue collar thing. You know, I mean, I've known him since he was a young kid. So, but I always thought like, gosh, he could really train. Like Milos trains a lot of celebrity type people. I think Flex could do that, like to the higher level. Like, especially he owns his gym. I mean, he has
I don't think he would ever do that though.
Well, I'm not saying he would,
but he would be great at it.
Yeah.
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 And
I don't think he'd do it, but he'd be great at it.
And there would be people who would pay him a lot of money to do that. Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, big time.
And he has a good network too to do
That's
it. You know,
that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of money, easy money coming in, but I think he's too busy as is between the family and the businesses, you know. And I think
family's everything like that. Like I think I see more stuff like, and I know he's got his son and I'm obviously his daughter, but he's just busy with like when you have a family like that, you can't. Nothing else matters, bro. Like I always tell everyone, like time. I look at all that stuff and it's very. I admire that, you know. When someone can really spend time with their children, those years matter because once they turn 18 or 19 and the American system says you have to leave your house at, you know.
Right.
It's
important. And if somebody, if a child has that,
it's important.
Blessing, I mean, it could totally transform their life because if they don't have that, it could also be catastrophic as well.
That's why I asked if your parents were supportive of what you did, you know.
Yeah, like I said, at first they didn't know what it was. I had to fund it on my own for a long time. But yeah, they supported it because number one, I wasn't running around the streets in Brooklyn, so they were very, very supportive. They had to get past what the whole tan thing was and the thong thing until they saw me on stage but they didn't even know I was doing a show because I'd walk around the house in sweats. I tried to imitate Kai. I'm like, nobody's going to see me. So I walk around the house in like sweats, which was ridiculous. I'm like, nobody's going to see me.
Sean Roden would wear a snowsuit.
Yeah.
Like,
I never understood it. I'm like, bro, why does he show up in an expo and he's like covered head to toe?
You're a pro bodybuilder, be in a tank top. People want to see that. They want to size themselves up for the gram, like Craig Elias.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just thought about something, but I remember I was getting tanned in my backyard by my friend, and there I am, 16 years old, running through the house in my posing trunks with this tan on. But it wasn't until they saw me on stage and got to see everything, and then the Dave Palumbo interviews backstage and all the things that went on social media. Well, back then it was MySpace. Then they fully supported it. My mom was my dad, of course, was my biggest supporter, but my mom was like, every time she was in the hospital, she would wear my T-shirts, and tell everybody, my son's a pro bodybuilder, and You know, so yeah, I was blessed to have that. Some people don't have that. Yeah.
Well, who do you want to thank? That's your camera right there.
Oh,
Anyone you want to thank or mention, or
Yeah.
how people can get a hold of you?
Give them your phone number.
Yeah.
please. Oh God. Yeah, no. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Matt, for having me on. This was a great conversation. I definitely had a good time here. Thank you to anybody who has supported me in the past and still supports me to this day. It does mean a lot. I know I don't compete anymore. I know I'm not out there like a lot of guys, but I do get tremendous amount of support, which also gives me more drive to do podcasts and put information out there and free information that people could get. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Dom Cardone IFBB. You can message me on there. My new website is being built right now. But if you do want to apply for coaching, you can click that link and apply. I don't accept everybody, so you do have to apply. And I'm looking forward to everything that's here in the future in Vegas. And again, thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to doing another one.
That's why I asked about the pro bodybuilder. It says IFBB on your handle.
Yeah.
So you say former, but hey, it's straight out there.
Wait, but in the bio, I have former.
Okay,
IFBB.
okay.
So
All
listen,
right.
that's like the little.
But you're always a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So
That's what I
when
said
you
earlier.
so when you
Once you
guys
under-
see Dom, which you will out and about, say, "Hey, IFBB Dom." That's his
Dom-
handle.
Oh,
Yes,
Cardone IFBB.
Listen,
Not-
IFBB Dom
not
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah.
Or maybe that when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to change my social media handle to IFBB Pro, because back then it was a little different too.
You know, I did notice something too.
I do got it tattooed. It's tattooed on me, but I
I
got
noticed that he's got the IFBB
Oh, I
tattoo.
didn't see it.
Yeah, I got it tattooed. Yeah, right into my motorcycle club patch. But I got that. I got that tattooed when I decided to make the comeback because I'm moved to Vegas like within like the first few weeks. I didn't have as many tattoos as I had, not even nearly. I'm getting this tattooed. I'm proud of this. I'm going to make it happen. Didn't happen, but it is in my.
It was a moment of your life. It's important.
It was an important chapter in my life
Yeah.
for sure, and I loved every bit of it. And here we are today. So
We appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on.
thank you.
We are out.